Welcome to Avondale, Arizona for the second round of the 2019 Virtual Racing League Xfinity Series. My name is Kyle Heyer alongside Finian DeCuna, and tonight, as you can obviously tell, I am very, very under the weather, but we're going to try to trudge on through and make the best out of it. Finian's doing better, but he won't be here next week because he's getting his wisdom teeth pulled, so SimTV's kind of a mess this weekend leading into next week, but hopefully you guys can bear with us as we try to make it through this race tonight. Phoenix, Arizona. 1 mile racetrack around here at the closed dog leg here tonight, Finney. That's going to change how these drivers race this track.
Yeah, indeed. I think of many times where a stock car is run on the closed version of Phoenix. Usually, pretty much every single time, it's run on the open version. Really, the only time the closed version of Phoenix is even used is for IndyCar, and that's to prevent them from going down there and damaging this stuff. But here we are for the Xfinity Series, and they're running the closed configuration, so that's going to have one less passing opportunity for those guys diving down into turn 4. It's pretty much got to drive it like the old Phoenix.
Yeah, there's a lot of things have changed since they repaved this racetrack, Finney. One of the things it has done is added a lot of grip in different lines. You see Robert Gaba in turns 3 and 4 running the high lane here. That's a little bit more viable than it used to be.
Yeah, indeed. Definitely think we're going to see guys run the high line in 3 and 4, especially in the later part of the run. I think towards the beginning parts, we're going to see pretty much everyone running the bottom all the way around the track, but definitely watch out in 3 and 4 as the tires start to wear out. You're going to see guys start to migrate around the track for grip.
17 entrants here tonight. We're down a couple from Daytona a few weeks ago, where Liam Sheen emerged victorious. I don't think Liam Sheen is here tonight. We're also notably missing Eli Hinton. Had somewhere else to be this evening. So we're down a couple drivers here, Finney, but predictions on the night. One driver that is back is the 42 of Connor Horn, and we know how quick he is in basically everything he drives.
Yeah, indeed, and he's about to put in his first qualifying lap. He was second fastest in practice. No surprise there, and as he comes out of turn 4 and across the line, he's going to be in first place. Yep. No surprise there.
Only by 900ths of a second over Butler, but it's only a mile racetrack around here, so 900ths is quite a bit of time. Ryan Shelton on the 51 back this week in the number 51 repairable vehicles Camaro after crashing out at Daytona. Currently sitting 8th on the track right now, 4/10 behind Connor Horn. Eddie Trejo back this week. Bailey Turner is here as well, the Coca-Cola Camaro. Another driver we have to mention is Reggie Ortega in the number 2. Welcomed a new little girl into the family last week, so we're excited to have Reggie back, although I'm sure his wife would probably would rather have him be somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, nice to see him back in the 2 machine. It was a little different without him, so nice to see him back on the grid and doing pretty well so far in 5th place.
Jeremiah Vincent on track right now. Just jumped up to 7th on the board in that number 8 car. And Vincent going to be one of those guys to beat tonight for sure. Seems to like this style of racetrack. We'll see if he can get that number 8 Camaro back into victory lane here in the Virtual Racing League. All right, so 15 seconds left. And again, I'm so sorry for my voice tonight. I can tell how bad it is. It's pretty poor. But again, I'm going to try to make it through. I'm going to be forced to make it through because we have about 8 or 9 days of streams coming up where I'm going to have to make it work. So, qualifying complete, and unsurprisingly, Connor Horn sitting on pole here for tonight's event with Elliott Butler starting up alongside.
Yeah, indeed. Again, no surprise really from Connor Horn up there. Eric Hutton is going to be starting in 3rd. And remember, both those guys are duking it out in VRL last season with the Cup cars for the championship, so they're going to be fighting each other here for the win here tonight.
All right, well, we're going to get graded up 120 laps around here. That's a relatively short race, less than an hour here at Phoenix, Finney, and that's going to bring up the intensity after a fairly long race at Daytona a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, indeed, Daytona was pretty long. A few cautions here and there extended the length, but we had a pretty good green flag run in the middle of it, and it was a really fun race, and expect a lot of the same here. This should be fun, especially considering that these guys don't have the dog leg to really use to set up passes, so we might see a little bit more aggression here as these guys kind of have to start potentially moving drivers out of the way to make some passes.
Again, we talked about in the qualifying session there, Finney, and how multiple grooves have started to become an option here at Phoenix in recent years. Maybe not so much down in turns 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 can really rip that high lane there and carry some momentum around the outside lane.
Yeah, and again, we're going to definitely see you guys take advantage of that as the tires start to wear out. At the beginning of the run, most of these guys are going to be pretty equal, but towards the later part, they're really going to try to take advantage of the multiple grooves and try to one-up each other. And we're going to probably see you guys maybe migrate to the top, maybe migrate back down to the bottom, and maybe even use the middle of the line.
Well, field is grading up. We're just waiting on a couple more drivers to join the field here tonight. Andrew Telganoff in the number 3 back again for another fight in that Miller Lite Ford. And that's a great-looking, very patriotic paint scheme. And starting right behind him, the number 12, driven by Angelo Ronis. Again, remember how much they worked together at Daytona a few weeks ago. No teamwork here tonight, Finney, and this place races so much like a short track. It's every man for himself.
Yeah, pretty much every man for himself. You got to be pretty cutthroat around here, so can't expect a lot of guys to give you a lot of room, and especially again without that dog leg here. As we've seen, I think most drivers gotten a little bit too comfortable with being able to just chuck it down there and cut that part of the track. So it's going to be a little bit of a learning experience too for some of these guys.
All right, while we're on the pace lap here, we're going to make one little adjustment, so you're going to lose the stream for just a moment, but stay with us. We'll be right back. We should be back now, and hopefully that improves things a little bit. Looks like it has. So back on the home internet this week, not quite as good as the stuff we have back in Binghamton, New York. We're home on spring break, and unfortunately won't get to enjoy it very much with how my health is going. But again, bear with me tonight, and we'll try to get through this together here. 120 laps at ISM Raceway to decide the winner of round 2 here for the Virtual Racing League. Pace car pulls off the 42 of Connor Horn in control of the field. Waiting for that green flag to drop. There it is. Green flag flies. We're racing here at ISM Raceway.
Yeah, they come down to turn 1. Connor Horn's going to lead, and you can see Elliott Butler and Eric Hutton now fighting for second place.
Already, Connor Horn off to a fantastic lead. 3 wide for second. Looked like that for a second, but Baffert in the number 23 Sim Motorsports car looked to the inside. Wasn't quite able to get anything there. Sitting in 5th place, make it 6th now as the field works their way through 3 and 4 for the first time. There's the 21 of Chambliss on the outside trying to make something happen. How about Reggie Ortega in the number 2 Hertz car on the outside trying to make moves work?
Yeah, indeed. And even Robert Gabbett, 2 in the 75. Great qualifying effort out of him. He's trying to go work on the outside. Eric Hutton can't get it done. Here comes Reggie Ortega now to the inside for 4th.
Yeah, a strong qualifying effort here tonight. And had a pretty decent run at Daytona as well, so looking to have a strong season. He gets turned by the 23 into the wall. Caution out, lap 2.
Ooh, Brian Chambliss involved in, William Troy in the 87, hard lick for him.
Yeah, more cars involved. Chambliss got a ton of damage on that car. Not sure what happened. I'm pretty sure the 23 of Baffert got in there hot and was the cause of this incident. We'll go back and take a look. It already happened at that point. Let's go back a little bit farther and see if we can find out what happened. The two
yeah, it looked like...
Go ahead.
Yeah, it looked like he got to the quarter panel of the 75 and then just looped him around.
Well, it definitely wasn't intentional because it wrecked a lot of cars there, including the 23, so that was not exactly his intention, I believe. I think he was surprised at how much 75 backed off, but we're right on board Ryan Shelton. Looks like he got a pretty bad end of this here. Yeah, he runs into the left front of Telganoff there, and a bunch of cars torn up early.
Actually, yeah, Telganoff has disconnected here, so he's going to retire tonight here on lap 2. So unfortunate last 2 weeks for the 3 car have been wrecked out of both races.
Yeah, not really what these guys wanted to start the night. A little bit of damage spread throughout the field already. Baffert's got that right front all bashed in. And that's a mistake that's going to cost him and many other drivers.
Yeah, Jeremiah Vincent also trying to fix some minor damage to his car, but Robert Gaba in a much worse shape, as well as Baffert to the nose of his SimTV Mustang. So
the top 6 stayed out on the racetrack. Connor Horn was already out to nearly a second lead when that caution happened on lap number 2. Again, if you're just joining us and I sound different tonight, it's because I am very, very sick. We're going to try to make it through. We got 116 laps to go, and we'll see if I can make it all the way. And hopefully this goes away by tomorrow so we can handle Outsider tomorrow even better. Connor Horn's going to be really strong here tonight. Finian was fantastic in practice and qualifying. Does anyone have anything for the 42?
I think definitely from the looks of it initially, I think Elliott Butler and Eric Hutton definitely got something for him. Hutton looks like he was actually about to lose a position to Reggie Ortega, but when that caution came out, Hutton was able to keep the position. But I think if Hutton can get there, he might have a shot. I'm not entirely sure about Butler, but again, he qualified in second, so I imagine he's got some sort of pace in that 36 Camaro.
How about Kenny Sawyer in the number 72 Sunoco Toyota? Started in 17th, is riding around in 8th place right now, and doesn't have a lick of damage on that car, so played some strategy nicely for some track position, and in a great spot to advance forward.
Yeah, currently the only Toyota on the field here tonight, currently running in 9th, so has moved up half the grid with that last caution. And speaking of that last caution, looks like we got 2 retirements.
Mark Emerson never took the green. It did not start recorded for him.
So Telegonov looks to be the only one that's completely retired. Troy and Chambliss are both fixing damage.
2 laps down for those guys already, though, both Troy and Chambliss, so not a great start for their races tonight. And again, aggression, you mentioned it, you're going to have to kind of push and bump and bang a little bit to make moves, but lap 2 probably a bit early to be pushing for Baffert.
Yeah, indeed. I think they just ended up getting together, but yeah, I imagine these guys are probably going to be aggressive. Didn't think it would happen that soon, or any contact would happen that soon, but we'll see what these guys can do as they're setting up to take the restart here coming to lap 7.
Interesting look at the conditions out here tonight, Finian. 110 degrees on the racetrack. I know we're out in the desert, but that's still hot. Might be struggling with grip out there for these drivers.
Yeah, indeed. Emerson was talking to us before the race. He was saying the car was just kind of sitting on itself in the corner, so and that was partly due to the new build kind of interfering with things and interfering with the way the setup was made. So definitely a little bit of an unknown for these guys, a little bit different than what they're used to.
Coming back to the restart, 15 cars actually make that 13 as Chambliss and Troy still on pit lane fixing damage. 13 of the original 17 will come and take the green flag on lap number 7. And Connor Horn leads them back down to the green.
And there you see trying to see that Bass Pro Shops car. That's Bailey Turner to the inside of Ortega, trying to take away 4th place.
Ortega is going to go 3 wide middle. Looked like it for a second, but Hutton's going to come up and block that move for now as Elliott Butler tries to roll the outside lane down into turn 3 as Turner looks to the inside of Reggie Ortega and tries to make a move there. Ortega's trying to split those guys 3 wide, couldn't quite get the run off, and he'll have to settle in to 4th, or actually make that 5th.
Cars in the wall in the back. Cars in the wall in the back. Ooh, cars spinning around to 23, Ben Baffert, and the caution is out yet again.
And I'm curious, Finian, was there payback here? I saw Gaba go sliding on through.
Yeah, I think Baffert got hit by the 8 of Jeremiah Vincent. But I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. No.
Well, it didn't look great. I'll say that. So a rash of incidents early here. Yeah, 23 was slow. Eddie Trejo was in the wall as well as the... there's another car in the fence up there.
41.
David Mott Jr. And these guys both got into the fence. Eddie Trejo...
that was a separate incident.
Oh, man. And then Baffert might have lifted there and caught the car that got into him off guard. That was Jeremiah Vincent. So trouble here early. 2 cautions in the opening laps.
Yeah, indeed, trouble early. A lot more trouble than I think we both would have expected, but nonetheless, these guys still trying to work things out. But yeah, currently got now Andrew Telegonov. I think William Troy is probably going to call it a day, as well as Brian Chambliss. And we might have to add Ben Baffert here to the list. And that car is really junked now if it wasn't before.
Yeah, that car is pretty torn up. And again, a mistake will cost him a chance at a pretty good race. He was running inside the top 5 that opening lap and had a good chance to have a good night, but that early caution put him in the back, and Jeremiah Vincent out of turn 4 gets into the rear and spins that 23 car around. So Horn, Hutton, and Turner, and Ronis, and add Butler to the list. They're loving it right now inside the top 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of Butler and Ortega have come down pit road as well as most of the back half of the field. Horn, Hutton, Turner, and Ronis stayed out.
Interesting strategies here. I'm wondering how much this setup was affected by the build changes.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can kind of tell visually, too. You can just notably tell that these cars are, the front end are just riding off the ground. The nose is picking up into the air anytime these guys get on the gas. So, but yeah, as far as handling is concerned, I have absolutely no clue what these guys are dealing with right now. Because, again, with that the build change affecting the setup as much as it did, only they know how it's handling.
Kenny Sawyer in the 72 continues to avoid those incidents and picking up tires. Honestly, the way this is going might be kind of an attrition-filled race. I like the strategy.
Yeah, I think this might be him just trying to put himself out of trouble, out of harm's way, and kind of give him some fresh tires to work with, as well as some potential clean track behind him to be able to kind of back up and just avoid these incidents.
Pace cars led the most laps here tonight. We're 11 laps in, and 7 caution laps have led the field so far. Interesting dynamic with that closed dogleg there. You see those cones on the inside. Usually that's fair game. You can cut that to gain an advantage, but not tonight. The layout selected is the non-cuttable version, and that changes restart significantly because you don't have that real estate down there to go try to make a pass. And I think maybe on a late race restart, it might catch out someone who's not paying attention. They might go down there and try to cut that and get a penalty.
Yeah, we're seeing some people got close. I think it might have been Elliot Butler who came down there, hit a few cones off the track. He got so close to it. So these guys trying to maximize that apron that's there as much as possible. But you have to be very careful. If you get too much of it, you can get a slowdown, and that could really cost you a race.
Again, 83 in the air, not super toasty, but the 110-degree track temperature. Well, it has a lot of grip when it's cool, but it's not really cool often here in Avondale, Arizona. 110, still very, very hot. These tires not really gripped in the racetrack, and these guys are struggling on the initial starts with low tire pressures to get these things up to temp and up to pressure before they'll start to grip.
Yeah, indeed, and Connor Horn's going to lead these guys back down to the restart. Eric Hutton was able to move himself up into second place after Elliot Butler came down into the pit, so he's going to be starting outside of Connor Horn. So I'm interested in seeing what this track position, what the 88 can do.
Kenny Sawyer back down in pit lane again. Not sure why. No damage on that car. Maybe just topping off with fuel and tires. He'll catch the field before they take the green again. Keeping an eye on that 72 because that might come in handy later in the night. Coming back to the restart, it'll be lap number 13. We've had 2 cautions slow the start here tonight. Connor Horn is going to lead Eric Hutton back to the green flag. We're racing again here at ISM Raceway.
Yeah, and Horn with another fantastic restart as they head off into one now. Bailey Turner to the inside of Eric Hutton. Turner looking like he can be a threat here tonight, so interested in seeing how he can do with this. But remember, Elliot Butler right behind them with fresh tires.
Ryan Shelton making damaged cars work. Out of the inside.
Go ahead. Yeah, Bailey Turner up fighting for second place, and Elliot Butler behind with nowhere to go with those fresher tires to work with, so could we potentially see 3 wide here?
I'm watching the corner exits. It seems to be really treacherously tight off the corner. But you mentioned it, Finney, 3 wide for a second. At least it looked like they were going to try it for a moment. Butler needs to get around Turner and Hutton to get himself back into P2.
Yeah, I'm curious what he's thinking right now, because again, he knows he has some slightly fresher tires than these guys, and they're both fighting for positions, and I think he feels he can get around them, but there's really no other place to go than the middle of them.
Pouring out to a 7/10 of a second lead, but Bailey Turner on the inside of Eric Hutton, but can Eric roll that outside lane? I don't know if there's the grip up there this early in the run to try it, but he's holding serve right now.
Yeah, I think that outside lane really, especially in 1 and 2, is not going to come into play in the until the later parts of the run. That inside lane just has, you have so much grip with these fresher tires, it's much easier to roll. But Elliot Butler now to the back bumper of Eric Hutton, so he's actually trying the high line early on.
Might take a little while for the track to rubber in and for that line to become viable, but Hutton's holding on for now. At least it's a good place to be defensively.
Oh. As you say that, here comes Elliot Butler to the inside. He's going to take away 3rd place, so Hutton's going to drop back to 4th. Made Butler's job a lot easier. He's going got 1 car to deal with up ahead of him.
And a skirmish behind off into turn 3, Ryan Shelton, Jeremiah Vincent, and the 11 of Eddie Trejo. This is a battle for 7th.
Yeah, Vincent got really close to Shelton here, but giving a decent amount of room. Ooh, Shelton in the front stretch wall. He's going to lose the spot to Vincent there.
Yeah, he's trying to make a lot happen with very little right now with all that damage. But back up for 2nd. Skirmish is back in. Turner all the way down to the cones on the inside. Elliot Butler trying to get by him. I think Butler's a tick quicker right now.
Yeah, and Butler's actually looking on the outside, and he's going to gain some momentum mid-corner. And here comes Eric Hutton trying to charge it up the inside, but couldn't get it done.
And right behind Eric Hutton is Reggie Ortega in the Hertz Camaro. And we'll see if Reggie gets into the groove here in the long run. Laps are ticking off quickly here. Working lap 18 already after a slow start.
Yeah, now I was saying ooh because Reggie Ortega got a little bit into the 88 of Eric Hutton. Ortega again, really looking fast here today.
Got a lot of pace in that car. Battle for 7th heating up here. Eddie Trejo beginning to put pressure on Jeremiah Vincent in the 8 car. I think Vincent's on a forward climb for now. But for 2nd, these guys are not giving up. Turner still has the 36 of Butler all over his rear bumper in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, while these guys continue to fight, Connor Horn has extended his lead to about 1.3, 1.4 seconds now as they come across the line, and Butler still struggling to get by Bailey Turner. Turner doing a fantastic job of keeping Butler at bay.
I think half of Phoenix is driving defensively. I mean, it's pretty difficult to pass once you're on older tires. And if you can drive a good defensive line, then you'll be in a good spot for a while. But now you see Butler trying that outside lane again. I think the outside lane much more viable in 3 and 4 than it is in turns 1 and 2. We'll see how it works.
And I think Butler also might be trying to set up the pass for 1 and 2. He might be trying to run 3 and 4 high to get a good run on the front straightaway, then use that to make a pass to the inside in 1 and 2. But he looks like he's struggling to get a run on the inside. Just struggling to get a run on Bailey Turner at the moment in general. And I'm sure he's probably wishing that we ran the open dogleg because I think this path would have been a lot easier had it been open.
Yeah, definitely the dogleg being closed restricts your passing opportunities, but it also prevents the boneheaded moves we've seen on restarts there in the past. It's definitely the siren's call for you every time you go over there. You definitely want to dive down there, and it looks like it's a great opportunity. Then you're 5 wide off into turn 3, and then you end up getting together. So either way, I think now that we have the field spread out here, Finney, we could see a longer green flag run, and maybe green flag pit stops and fuel strategy might become a problem.
Yeah, indeed, it might become a problem as these guys are coming to the line, and it looks like Turner is actually starting to close in just a little bit on our horn.
Last time through was about 0.07 of a second quicker than Connor Horn.
Yeah, I remember seeing that gap at 1.3 seconds. Now it's down to about 1.2, so making small inroads. So I'm actually kind of surprised with Bailey Turner, so he might be able to potentially rail in Connor Horn if Horn used up too much of his tires.
Everyone kind of spread out now, and they're just ticking off laps. Connor Horn up the road by 1.2 seconds. That time through about dead even, 1,000th separating their lap times.
Yeah, notably, I was looking at Kenny Sawyer back in the 72. He's back in 12th. He's currently a lap down, so I think he had to come back down under green. Not sure why. Might have been a penalty.
Could have been, but he's also running the quickest laps on the racetrack right now. I think he's got a little bit fresher tire. Actually, we can check that. Yes, he has about, 15 lap fresher tires than the leader. But it's not going to do you a whole lot of good a lap down. He's going to hope for a yellow to get himself back on the lead lap.
And even, too, he's only a straightaway in front of Connor Horn, so he's in potential of falling 2 laps down. So he's definitely hoping for a caution so he can at least get that lap back. Fortunately for him, he's the only car a lap down, and by a pretty good measure, as Gaba is the last car on the lead lap, but is only 11 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, Gaba's got that car repaired pretty well. He took a couple big hits early in the going. Got that car back up into working condition.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably wishes that he had his car in a condition where he can fight up like he was. You remember he was running in the top 5 at one point, or if anything, running in 6th, and then his car got junked, so he's stuck there back in 11th, just trying to tick off some laps.
See Ryan Shelton trying to make a lot happen with very little, sitting in 8th place right now. He was involved in that lap 2 accident with Baffert and Robert Gaba. Trying to recover from that. I think he might still have some more damage to fix. The battle for second beginning to heat back up. They haven't been able to track down Connor Horn anymore, but Butler is right behind that 24 car.
Yeah, Bailey Turner's kind of been able to... Ooh, a bunch of cones just went flying on my screen. But Bailey Turner has been able to kind of keep that gap at bay at 1.2 seconds. It hasn't really gotten bigger or smaller. But here comes Butler, as you're saying, starting to close in here. I kind of wonder if he's ready to make a second attempt at passing him.
Riding on board the 36 car now, and we'll watch the different lines. Slightly higher entry for Butler. He's going to get it down lower in the mid-corner. But Bailey Turner gets such a good run off in that number 24.
Yeah, I think that's where he's beating Butler. I think Butler's really getting a lot of speed entry and mid-corner, but Turner just nailed the exits, and that's where he's able to keep ahead of Butler.
Patience on throttle will do you good here. And drivers that wait before they get back on the throttle tend to make those tires last longer in the run, so I might expect to see the 36 fade a little bit. But again, in terms of our lap run here, we're almost 30 laps into this race, and some of these drivers have not made a pit stop yet. Horn, Eric Hutton, and Brian Chambliss are one of them. Actually, Chambliss should have made a pit stop. I'm not exactly sure why it's not recording it. Battle for 6th place, Jeremiah Vincent getting around to the inside of Angelo Ronis, but Ronis holding strong on the outside lane.
Yeah, Ronis is trying to hold on. Vincent with a slightly damaged car. Nothing too significant, but the 8 has some has suffered from the attrition here a little bit, and looks like Vincent's just going to get around Ronis.
Angelo's struggling right now, half a second off the leader's pace. But Bailey Turner's begun to tick quicker laps than the 42 again, and Butler was the quickest of everyone the last time through.
Yeah, indeed he was. So interesting to see here. Unfortunately, again, he's stuck in behind the 24. But I think if he can use this pace that he's found recently right now, I think he's got a good shot of getting around Turner.
All right,
only thing is...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, only thing is, do you think he's going to use a bumper here, maybe try to use it early on, or do you think he should probably wait?
I would wait. I mean, I don't really want to get yourself some enemies early in the going. Maybe if we're getting down to 30, maybe 20 laps to go, I'd use that chrome horn, but this early in the race, I don't think you want to be making enemies. And I'm really struggling over here. Hey, no one can ever say that we're not trying over here at SimTV. Oh, speaking of the bumper, 36 almost laid it to Bailey Turner.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of just rested on it. It wasn't really much of a punch, more of just hey, I'm here and I'm faster than you and I want to get around you. Ooh, and Turner was loose off before that last time as well, so I'm kind of curious if Turner's starting to slip up just a little bit.
Now they're nose to tail. We're riding on board the bumper cam from Bailey Turner. 36 can have a look to the inside.
Butler going to back off. I think he's going to try to get him mid-corner here.
Not enough power.
Yeah. But as these guys are battling with each other somewhat, they're really starting to reel in Connor Horn. They're not losing time, but that's the good thing for them. They're at least reeling him in, although, again, very small increments. Ooh, and actually, speaking of Connor Horn, I just saw him disappear off the track.
Oh, Finian, I think he lost connection here. He might not pop back onto the racetrack, and that could throw things up all over the place. Connor Horn might have just lost connection to this race and let Bailey Turner take the lead, but nope, scored back up front, popped back in. That was very close, but he did lose a lot of ground and all that.
Yeah, indeed he did, and I think that was him trying to figure out what was going on. He lost a second, sorry, not a second, he lost 7/10 of a second to the guys behind him, so that's definitely not going to help him or do him any favors. Butler giving another push to Bailey Turner.
How long do you hold up the 36 if you're Bailey Turner? Is it smarter just to let him go now, or are you going to just race him hard?
I think I would race him hard. I think because you're closing in on first place, that guy behind you is definitely faster, but not fast enough to get around you. So I think Turner is best interest to keep him behind him as long as he can. Unless Butler starts to try to spin him, then I would probably let him by.
Now you see the 36 using that apron below the yellow line. That's all. Everything that's paved here is fair game. And a lot of times drivers will use that apron to get a grip on the inside and rotate their car around.
I saw Butler really lose off before, though. He was able to correct it back. But yeah, I think it's a little bit too late with the tires to use that inside line. I don't think he's going to get the grip he wants down there. He's definitely going to need the banking to help this car rotate.
How about the battle for fourth? Eric Hutton and Reggie Ortega beginning to close, and that's brought Jeremiah Vincent into the battle as well.
Yeah, Vincent's has found some second win here. He's 3/10 faster. Or sorry, 2/10 faster than Eric Hutton or Reggie Ortega, so he's really reeling these guys in and should potentially be able to make some quick work out of them.
Well, Reggie Ortega is very consistent tonight. Started 5th, running 5th. Hasn't gained or lost any spots. Looks like he qualified right where he belongs.
Yeah, and also looking at starting position, Bailey Turner started in 9th, moved himself up into 2nd place, so solid movement from him. Also, Ronis started in 13th, moved himself up to 7th.
This is a great battle between Turner and Butler, and they haven't stopped since the restart. But anyway, battle for 5th place. Vincent to the inside of Ortega. I don't think Reggie's going to fight this too much.
You say that, and it looks like Ortega's going to keep in. He's going to get a run on the outside on the back straightaway.
Eric Hutton just knocked over all those cones. Got to be really careful doing that. You can get yourself a penalty, and I'm pretty sure, isn't it a stop and go for cutting that?
I don't know. I thought it might have been a slowdown, but I kind of have to refresh myself on that. But it looks like Hutton didn't get any penalty at all, as far as it seems.
I want to go back and take a look at that from on board Jeremiah Vincent.
He might have just gotten away with it a little again. He was very close.
Oh, he drove over him pretty hard there. I'm surprised, but got away with it. Eric Hutton slipped mid-corner there.
Yeah, and he's slipping on exit as well, so he's really fighting a loose handling car, and I think this is why we've seen him. He's dropped back now 4.6 seconds behind the leader, but Vincent behind him, meanwhile, looks really comfortable in that car and is really starting to make some ground on Hutton, so we'll potentially see a pass here, 4th in a few laps.
Bailey Turner continues to reel in Connor Horn for the lead, but the battle now continues to be for 4th. Look at the 8 car using that apron, rotating around the inside, but slides up in the mid to late exit and loses some ground. But look at Eric Hutton's a little bit loose right now. Seems to be struggling in 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Vincent should really try to plan where he can use those loose conditions that Hutton's facing, use that to his advantage.
Great run out of turn 2 for Jeremiah Vincent. We did get confirmation it's a slowdown for the cone cut.
Okay, and here comes Vincent now to the inside. He's going to try to use the apron. And Hutton, I don't think, can put up much of a fight here.
Definitely not on the outside just yet. I don't think the track's quite there. Curious to see how the track temperature is. 108, it's fallen a couple degrees. You see a bobble there by the 8 car.
Yeah, I was also looking at Ortega. He was wicked loose, and he's starting to lose some time. And Angel Ronis is starting to make up some ground on these guys up ahead of him.
Maybe he was conserving tires earlier in the run. All we know is that we're side by side. How about Butler and Bailey Turner trading spots up ahead? Butler's gone around the outside and now.
Yeah, Butler trying to make up some ground here. Here comes Bailey Turner on the inside, trying to hold it off, but it looks like Butler's going to get 2nd place, so change for position there. So now Butler's got some clean air to work with now. What can he do with it? We saw these guys actually lost a little bit of ground to Connor Horn. The gap's up back at a 2nd for 2nd place. So now with Butler with some clean air, can he gap Bailey Turner and also make up some valuable time on Connor Horn?
We'll see. Only time will tell. Vincent has cleared Hutton, has begun to stretch that lead out. It's now 0.3 of a second. Big bobble by the 88 out of turn 4 once again. He's really struggling with the loose handling car on the latter half of the course.
Yeah, I'm sure he's waiting to come in to get some tires. I'm sure he wants to get them as soon as possible on the 88. And remember our not a top 4, Horn, Butler, Turner, and Ronis all were the guys that stayed out on the last pit stop. So they got about 5 to 7 laps less fuel. Yeah, less fuel than the other guys around them. So they should be the first guys we expect to see on pit road. And those will really be the indicator for the rest of the field.
Yeah, Horton's been out since the beginning of the race. 46 laps on his tank of fuel, 47 now. Butler is 37 laps on his, Turner 43, so all sorts of different strategies all over the track.
It looks like this race is starting to calm out just a little bit as people are starting to spread each other out. Butler is, though, closing in on Connor Horn, gap down to 0.7 of a second.
Was a 10th quicker last time by. Battle for 7th, heating up, actually make that 8th. Ryan Shelton and David Mott Jr. Both these guys collected in incidents early on. More damage to the 51 than the 41. And Mott bobbles out of turn 4. Yeah, that lead, Finian, closing up 0.6 is now the gap.
Oh, and they're actually catching some lap traffic, too. They got Kenny Sawyer up ahead of them, as well as William Troy.
Surprised that Kenny Sawyer has struggled so much. He had the newest tires of anyone in the field. Seemed like he was going to play out the strategy to miss the attrition, but lost all that track position doing so. Then as soon as he gave up all that position, that race has gone green since.
Yeah, indeed. And Butler has also played up the strategy to a T. I need to make a small correction to myself. It wasn't Butler that stayed, it was Eric Hutton. Butler was the first of the guys to come down on pit road, and look where that's ended up. He's gained a lot of time. Was able to pass Turner, Hutton, and Ronis. So, and now he's got Connor Horn up ahead. So the strategy really worked out in his favor now, with the gap now under 0.4 of a second.
Jeremiah Vincent's gapped Hutton for 4th. That's now 1.1 between them. For the lead, though, Finian, 0.3 of a second. Butler's chased him down. Big mistake by Horn on the last lap. 0.3, make it 0.2 out of turn 4.
Ooh, Butler was very loose off before. He's starting to push the car a little bit, so he might have to back out and regroup. But yeah, Butler looks to be faster, but again, I think he's starting to now face those loose conditions.
I heard a downshift, and there's the upshift for Connor Horn, so he's definitely putting the car down into 3rd gear in turn 1, and maybe struggling with that mid-corner speed and maybe lacking that torque on exit. But either way, Butler has tracked him down. How many times have we seen someone run down and pass Connor Horn? I think we're about to see it right here.
It's one of the rare sights on Sim TV, and I think you're about to see it here with Butler with some fresher tires and just better, I think, conservative strategy on his part, conservative driving compared to Connor Horn. We've seen Connor Horn. I don't want to say he's one of the most conservative drivers, but definitely one of the fastest. But he's starting to pay the price here in the later part of this run.
Yeah, I don't think this track really. The tracks that suit his style seem to be the ones where he can really charge the racetrack, and that doesn't seem to be the case. Kenny Sawyer way off to the outside in turn 4, letting the lead lap cars by. But yeah, like we were saying, I think Connor Horn likes tracks that he can charge, and this one is definitely saving your equipment more than that.
Yeah, though Butler has kind of stalled out at around 0.3 of a second. He hasn't been able to find a way around Connor Horn. And I kind of wonder, maybe this is him just taking it easy instead of burning up his stuff, trying to pass Connor Horn. I think he might wait for Connor to pit and then run out those extra few laps past him, maybe try to gain up some ground, pass him in the pits.
I like that idea. What the drop-off is about 1.5 seconds from the first run, or the first lap on the new tires. 27.5 on Connor Horn's best lap to a 28.8 last time through, so about 1.3. So an undercut would easily get Elliott Butler by. But the question is, you could probably make it to the end here on one stop, don't you think, here, Finian? I mean, we've gone 54 laps.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could probably do one stop.
I would say, yeah, we're coming up on lap 60, so you should be able to put this in half, if anything. Oh, Connor Horn missed a shift. He's sideways in front of Elliott Butler. They collide.
And that's going to damage both those cars and Bailey Turner.
And Bailey Turner just going to drive on through. He's going to collect the lead.
Yeah, big mistake.
How about that?
Big mistake down in turn 1. They got to take another look. Was that Connor Horn just getting sideways all by himself?
Yeah, I think, remember, he was shifting.
Oh,
and
yes.
that looks exactly what happens when you put it in the wrong gear.
Here, let's listen. Or just badly rev match. Let's ride on board. Oh, it was a misshift, Finian. He did shift down to first. Yeah, so he shifted that car down to first. Now he's going to worry if he damaged that engine, Finian. That could shoot up the oil pressures and blow that engine out. So he's got to be really careful and nurse that thing for the rest of the night.
Yeah, and also you got some contact. He's got a little bit of damage. Nothing too significant, but definitely not going to help him out at all to the left side of that car, especially in the left rear. So he's got to nurse that car a little bit. But yeah, Turner now able to take advantage of that situation, and he's going to find himself in the lead. Now Butler's back at square one right behind Bailey Turner.
You don't see Connor Horn make a lot of mistakes, especially not shifting. Remember Watkins Glen, VRL last season, led pretty much every lap of that race and drove away with a massive lead. That's a lot of shifting there. No mistakes that day. Butler's caught Turner back, though.
Indeed, he's caught him back up, but has he used up? I think Butler might have used up his stuff trying to chase down Connor Horn. So I don't know how much he has left for Bailey Turner, but we'll see here if he's got anything to answer him with. But we should be coming up on pit stops in a few laps as we're just under halfway.
Yeah, if we get to lap 60, that means that we can go to the end on fuel. And maybe we'll see Connor Horn pop in the pits anytime soon. Maybe he'll try to undercut and get his lead back.
Yeah, Butler, from the looks of it, he's really struggling with the conditions, especially off of 4. He was all sorts of sideways, so I think the best strategy for him is to try to do an undercut on Bailey Turner, and I think that would be his optimal strategy.
Again, if you're just joining us tonight, I am very, very, very sick. Barely hanging on. It's getting more and more painful to talk by the minute, but we're halfway through. About 30 minutes of racing left, so I'm going to trudge it out to the end, and hopefully it'll all be fixed by tomorrow night's Outsiders race at Auto Club. And I'm just trying to make it work. And I got to make it work this week because Finian's getting the wisdom teeth pulled on Monday, and I'm going to be without my normal right-hand man, and I'll have to be Jarrett Mackey in the booth for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yep.
But as we were talking there, Butler has been able to really close the gap on Turner now. And again, I'm curious now, will he use the bumper? You saw him get a little bit aggressive before when he was right behind him. Does he be more aggressive now?
And he actually didn't get a whole lot of damage. You see the 24 slip on the apron. I don't think he actually got all the way down there and clipped it, but he definitely slipped. And they're using every little bit of dogleg that they're given there. They're only given a couple feet, but they're using every bit. Still pretty surprised here, Finney. The majority of the field still on the lead lap after about a 40-lap run.
Yeah, and especially, too, William Troy, again, with some pretty hard damage, pretty significant damage to that car. He's still on the lead lap, although Oh, sorry, never mind. He's not on the lead lap. Eddie Trail, though, in front of him with a little bit of right side damage to his car. He's on the lead lap, and yeah, you guys have been able to hold on for quite a bit. So good job by the remaining drivers on the field.
Ryan Shelton on pit lane as well as Robert Gaba making their pit stops. They'll be good to the end. Ryan Shambliss, that car completely destroyed from an earlier incident. He's coming back on down. He is 8 laps down, just trying to finish this one out.
Yeah, and Eric Hutton also down there, notably. Remember, we saw him really struggle in the later part of that run, so I think he's happy to get down there and get some fresh tires.
William Troy toughing it out, 22 laps down. Hutton, Gaba, Ortega, all in pit lane. 87 Troy slipped big time in 3 and 4, didn't get it up into the wall. Connor Horn, I think, is he coming? No, he'll stay out on track.
No. Yeah, top 3 is staying out as well as Jeremiah Vincent.
Eddie Trejo coming on down. Oh, no, he's actually on the racetrack. I'm not sure what I was looking at there.
Yeah, a lot of the entire top 5 are still staying on the track, so I can't imagine it'll be out there for much longer. But I'm curious who's going to be the first one to come down. Is Bailey Turner coming out? Nope, just running a little
Connor Horn. Oh, no, he keeps faking it. He's slowing down mid-late corner. He wiggles out of turn 4, but the battle for the lead continues beyond 2/10, separating these top 2.
Yeah, these guys are trying to navigate lap traffic now. Gabo coming in the middle of them.
That's going to split them. And if I were the 36, I would have come to pit road right there.
Yeah, so top 3 is still going to stay out, as well as Jeremiah Vincent. These guys are still running out there.
I think they're just going to run it to the end of the fuel tank fitting and have fresher tires for the end.
Yeah, I think that's probably, I guess that's what they're all deciding to do, and also it might be a little bit of, if the others are staying out, I'm also going to remain out there. And I'm also trying to look at their lap times, and Connor Horn still is running faster than Turner and Butler, so he's starting to close that gap back up, so the top 3 closing in on each other yet again, and these guys have not been able to get separated from each other for most of this race.
Ryan Shelton back on pit lane here, Freddie, and surprised by this move.
Ooh, that might not be good.
So I'm shocked that Butler hasn't come in yet here, Finney. I mean, this would be a great opportunity to get this lead back without having to work too hard for it.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's planning on trying to run them out as much as possible so he can have the freshest tires at the end. But yeah, I agree with you too. I think you should try to take an opportunity of this and come in now.
Penalty issued to Ryan Shelton was for too many stalls. So that was a pass-through penalty, and he'll serve that. Jeremiah Vincent down on pit lane.
Yeah, that's a move I definitely agree with. He's a little bit out of the fight, about 5 seconds behind those guys before he came in. But they can definitely make up some valuable ground if they decide to stay back out there.
Shelton back on pit lane again, this time stopping for service. This has gone from bad to worse for him. I think he might be calling it a night.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for him. Just more problems adding to a situation as well as a damaged car.
Connor Horn.
Jeremiah Vincent.
He's on pit lane, Finney, and making a move.
Oh, yeah, and he's into his pit stall.
I like this call. Oh, he missed it.
Yep.
That just threw away all the advantage he just got.
Yeah, I was going to say he came in at a bit of a weird angle, and the leaders are down on pit road with each other.
All right, well, we have 50 laps to go. Next time through, Bailey Turner is going to give up the lead, and looks like Angelo Ronis will take the lead. Bailey Turner, oh, he's stopped in a, I was wondering where he went. He's behind a pit sign. I can't see him.
Yeah, so Turner, he's off and away. And he's going to get ahead of Butler by quite a bit, actually. So Turner expanding that gap.
Funny thing is, Turner actually had a slower pit delta, but was 0.3 quicker on pit lane. So the stop in the pit stall was slower for Turner, but made so much more time in the actual pit lane itself. He gained ground on the 36. Where is Connor Horn? Much behind. He's 0.6 of a second behind Elliott Butler after slipping through his stall.
Yeah, and he could have easily been ahead of Butler had he not made that mistake. And it's valuable seconds that cost you. And actually, if you can do since you have the data with you, if you can kind of look at how much time you lost with that mistake.
About 3 seconds on pit lane.
Yeah, yeah, that would have given him the lead. So a tough break for the 42. That's the second mistake we've seen him make tonight. And those have cost him dearly as he's back in third though. But again, still probably one of the fastest drivers on the track. But has got some tough competition ahead of him.
Ronis is still out on the track. Now he comes to pit lane for his service. Going to lose a lot of time overall, but he's going to have a couple lap fresher tires than the leaders. Might work out later if there's a late race caution.
Yeah, I think he's just looking long run as far as the guys he was racing around. So I think he wants to have he is going to have the freshest tires out of all the guys he was racing with. So he's going to try to use that to his advantage.
Here's a look at the lap since pit for the leaders. Hutton and Ortega finishing now leading the race. Their undercut strategy has put them up in front by a pretty big margin there. I think they're going to get run back down though.
Yeah, and Hutton though, he's playing with some fire. Every time I see, I just see cones flying on the track, and I see Eric Hutton going into turn 3. So yeah, he's been murdering cones tonight. I think his count is up to probably 50 dead cones, probably even more than that. But yeah, he's playing with fire though with that penalty. So if he cuts them anymore, it's a very fine line, and I'm sure he doesn't want to cross it.
We'll watch again to see if he clobbers those cones out of turn 2. Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
aims right for him. Kenny Sawyer back on pit lane. Eddie Trejo down as well. We've been all clean and green since the second caution of the night. I think since about lap, what, 11 or 12?
Yeah. So yeah, been clean for most of this race so far, and it looks like it's going to continue. These guys, everyone pretty separated, other than a small group with Reggie Ortega.
Ortega, Butler, and Horn all battling for third place right now. This is going to get spicy.
Yeah, indeed. Horn already looking faster than Butler at the moment, but Butler going to be to the inside of Reggie Ortega. Where does Connor Horn go?
Looked like he wanted to go inside 3 wide, just didn't quite have the lateral drive to do it. He'll look to the outside of Elliott Butler down into turn 1, but Ortega slow in the middle of the corner. Have to turn on down to get by him.
And Connor Horn still shifting, so he's again playing with fire here, but it looks like it's working for him. He's going to be the inside Elliott Butler. Ooh, and making contact too.
Leaning on the left rear quarter panel. All right, I got to shut up for a couple minutes, Vinny, and you take it away. I'll follow you.
All right, well, Connor Horn made a little bit of contact in 3 and 4. You can see that Connor Horn getting a little bit desperate here trying to get around Elliott Butler. I think he knows that that's probably one of his biggest competition, and is also faster. But it looks like Butler's not going to make it easy for him at all, and he's going to try to pinch him down. So Horton's got to find some sort of way around Elliott Butler. And I've seen Connor Horn use the high side to pass. I've seen him mainly make the pass on the inside. And I think that's due to him shifting, getting that car, making that car being able to rotate to the inside. And put Ailey Turner up in second place. He's 1.4 seconds behind Eric Hutton, who's starting to lose that lead that he has. I'm sure Eric's probably waiting for a caution to come out now, because that would really help him in his effort. Otherwise, he's going to get completely passed by 24, 36, and 42, who are all chasing him down. But back for third place, they're still fighting Elliott Butler, still trying to hold off Connor Horn. Horn getting a fantastic run off the corner. Just not able to use it on the back straightaway, and I think he's trying to set up something in 3 and 4, but just can't get it done as Butler is really sticking to the inside line.
It'll be 40 to go for the leaders this time through, about 18 minutes of racing left. Hutton has a 1/10 of a second lead. Turner has run him down. It's not going to last too much longer here, about 7/10 of a second difference last time through.
Yeah, and Turner already getting side by side with him out of the corner. Immediately he will go to the inside. And I think Hutton knows that it's a losing fight.
Yeah, I really got to back down my conversation, Finian, so I'll just follow you on through, or else I'm going to have no voice left.
All right, 10-4 on that. So Hutton now falling back to second place. Bailey Turner is going to take the lead of this race. And looking at the lap times, Elliott Butler and Bailey Turner, it looks like Butler's starting to close in by about 0.2 a lap. We'll check next time through, as Turner was trying to pass Eric Hutton, so that could affect the lap times. But I think Butler and Horn might be closing in here. And Butler now... Oh, caution!
Caution on the racetrack. What's it for? Ryan Shelton in the 51 on the back straight.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with him. Oh, got in the turn 2 wall.
Just committed too early.
Yeah, and he went for a pretty big spin to the inside, so that's gonna change everything here. As now especially, I'm sure Eric Hutton was happy to see that. Probably would have liked that caution to come out probably 5 laps earlier when he had the lead of this race, but he'll be in second place. And I can imagine we're going to see these guys all on pit road. And Bailey Turner is going to lead them down, and everyone does make the trip down on pit road. Yeah, interested in seeing what's going to happen here. Do you think anyone's going to dare take 2 tires?
Might as well try it. If you're a guy that just pit a couple laps ago, it can't really hurt. I mean, we might get some more yellows now that the field's bunched back up, so worth a shot.
And this is also going to be keeping sure these guys get into their pit stalls correctly and not making a mistake there. And it looks like everyone didn't made it into their stalls okay. And looking off for the race off of pit road, who's going to be first? It's going to be Bailey Turner, Elliott Butler, Eric Hutton, and Connor Horn. Ooh. Did he get a speeding penalty?
It's possible.
Yeah, interesting thing. Actually, I don't think he did, because I think this hold is, 15 seconds, and that wasn't 15 seconds, so I don't know what happened to him, why he just sat on pit road for an extra few seconds, but he's going to cycle out behind Jeremiah Vincent and Reggie Ortega. So Connor Horn going to lose a few positions here. Oh no, Connor back on pit road.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's returned back to the pit lane.
So interesting stuff there out of the 42. So not entirely sure what's going on with him in this situation. But he's going to be. I think this could if we go green all the way, it's going to potentially take him out of it.
Well, let's. Horn missed his pit box there again. Once he pulls back out, let's drag him up to the booth and talk to him.
All right, we'll do. Just waiting for complete service. Ah, he's fixing some damage.
He didn't really have a lot to begin with. Surprised by that.
Yeah, well, all right, he's pulling off away, and I'll go and try to grab him. Where is he? Oh, he's in the AFK. Hopefully he can hear us. Hey, Connor Horn. Oh, actually, he's sorry, he can't hear us.
All right, we'll try somebody else. How about Bailey Turner in the 24?
All right, let's see. Bailey Turner, where is he?
Never mind. We're going 1 to green here, Finian, probably.
Okay. Well, so much for that. But Connor Horn's going to be back out in 8th place, so he's going to have to have a lot of work ahead of him to try to get back up to the front again. Anything's possible here. Now, like you said, with the field bunched up again with fresh tires, we might see some cautions. You always see the saying, cautions breed cautions, so we might see it here in these last 30 laps.
I'm going back to my quiet dungeon, so go ahead and take it away.
All right. Well, pace car is about to make the left turn off of pit road. There goes the pace car. Bailey Turner going to lead the field back down to green. Elliott Butler on his outside. And green flag back in the air here at Phoenix. And looks like Eric Hutton's going to waste no time. He's going to try to go up into second place. Elliott Butler to the outside of him. Hutton, who loose, he clips the apron. He's going to be loose. Here comes Reggie Ortega now to the outside. Oh, and caution immediately in the air. And it looks like it was for Eddie Trejo.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. It's the inside of William Troy. Just kind of ran each other out of room.
Yeah, I think the miscommunication between both of them. I don't think Troy thought that Trejo was going to make the pass, and I think Trejo thought that Troy was going to give him some more room. So, but what that caution does give us is an opportunity to talk to Bailey Turner. So as soon as you guys catch the pace car, we'll pull him up into the booth and hear his thoughts on this race and what's his plan going on inside that helmet for the next 30 laps. But yeah, Kyle, out of the guys you're seeing right now, and considering where they're placed, who do you think's got the best shot at winning this race?
I'm still going to say the 36 of Butler. I think he's got the best shot. I think he's been slightly quicker than Turner all night. His best lap's about a 10th quicker. And he actually, with the exception of Connor Horn, actually has the quickest lap of anybody out there.
All right, well, my pick is, I know that he's made a few mistakes tonight, but he seems to have the golden horseshoe with him for most of these races. I think Connor Horn's got a good, I think he's got a good shot. We've seen him come back from, I think, far worse to somehow get a win. And he's back down on pit road. So we'll take this opportunity now to pull Bailey Turner into the booth. Hey, Bailey Turner, SimTV, you got a copy?
Yeah, I can barely hear you though.
Oh, sorry. All right, I'll try to speak as close to the mic as I can. All right, so you're leading the race here, coming to 30 laps to go. What's your plan on on handling the rest of this race? You got Elliott Butler, who seems to be probably your biggest competition. So how are you gonna? What's your strategy with dealing with him?
Yeah, Elliott's been better than me on the long run. It looks like he can usually beat me on corner entry, and then I can usually hold him on exit. But if we keep getting these cautions, a shorter run, I probably think it's going to be good for him as well as somebody like Connor. Eric wasn't on the same tire strategy as us until this run, so I don't know what kind of speed he has yet. But it's going to be interesting. Going to try to hold him off. But if anything, it's just trying to get a good points day since I had the points lead coming from last week. So trying to keep it all together.
All right, that was Bailey Turner in the 24. Good luck. Back down in your team channel. Good luck for the rest of this race.
Thank you.
All right, so Bailey Turner feeling some of the competition from Elliott Butler, and even Connor, and even he mentioned Connor Horn. So I think no matter what happens, I think he's always a lingering thought in a lot of these drivers' minds.
Connor could,
I think they know what he's capable of.
Connor could win the race from 9th, and that's where he is. We've seen last fall in Phoenix, Kyle Busch take him 5 wide on a restart from 9th to 2nd in one move. I think we can see something similar with Connor Horn. Keep an eye on him down into turn 3. You can't cut that dog leg, but you sure can use the apron down in 3 and 4.
Yeah, and definitely I think too, like Turner said, if cautions keep coming out, it can definitely help out Horn. Although he did come down pit road again, so I put him back in 9th, but still has a good shot if we keep seeing cautions like we are. So coming back to this restart, we're going to get the restart. Coming to lap 92, we got Bailey Turner, Elliott Butler, Eric Hutton, Reggie Ortega, and Angel Ronas has moved himself up into 5th place. So that's your top 5 coming to the restart here. And interested in seeing here, I'm curious if Reggie Ortega, he looked to be a little bit racy. I'm curious if he could potentially maybe have something for 2nd place, or if anything for Eric Hutton. All right, so I definitely don't think we're done with cautions yet. I think we definitely got a chance at seeing a few more here in these closing laps. Pace car is about to pull off the track, and Bailey Turner is going to lead them back down to green. And green flag is back out here at Phoenix. Bailey Turner with another great restart as usual, and Eric Hutton also with a fantastic restart to the inside of Elliott Butler. With Jeremiah Vincent behind them aggressively changing lanes to the inside as they're all racing off into turn 2. Angel Ronas to the outside, or sorry, Reggie Ortega to the outside of Ronas, and they're fighting for 4th place as they head off into turn 3. Both these guys being very aggressive on this restart.
Keep in mind, we are under 30 to go. Less than 13 minutes of racing remaining. It's getting down to crunch time now. Now you got to use the bumper.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're going to want to use the bumper, and Eric Hutton's moved himself up into 2nd place. And I think he's found some second wind with that tire strategy, being able to put him back in 2nd place on that last caution before this one. And he's still hitting those cones down there, trying to make some time on Bailey Turner. Now I got to be curious on what is Elliott Butler going to do to get Hutton out of the way.
I still think Butler's the quickest car out there, other than the 42. Connor's gone from 9th to 6th, but he still has some work to do, running out of laps.
Yeah, indeed, starting to run out of laps. I think he definitely needs these short cautions to come out, but it looks like we got a pretty clean restart, and everyone's already single file, but Connor Horn making a pass to the inside of Reggie Ortega, and that's going to be a fight for 5th place. So Horn already moving up quite a few spots on this restart. And Bailey Turner still leading over the rest of the field. Ooh, Ronus in the wall off of 4. And Connor Horn now going to look to the inside of him, and Horn's going to be up into 4th place. What a recovery drive for the 42.
Up to P4, so he's gained 5 spots. Next one on the list is Elliott Butler. Can Butler defend?
Yeah, indeed, and I think he's going to try to do his best, but again, he has to make sure that he doesn't lose time to Hutton and Turner, because if that happens, he's going to be out of the fight. He's got to also make sure he keeps that 42 behind him at bay. Here comes Connor Horn to the inside in turn 1. And Butler is going to give it to him, try to do the crossover here on the exit, but I think Horn's going to have him.
Keep in mind that Horn has the freshest tires of anyone in this group by 5 laps. That seems to be helping him here a little bit.
Yeah, indeed. And again, any advantage is something here, especially with the missing that dog leg. It's going to really help considering the lack of potential passing opportunities that these guys otherwise would have. So Horn really taking advantage of the fresher tires. Now, can he chase down Hutton and Turner? I think he will be, but again, it's going to be a question of how many laps to go will he have if he catches them to make a fight for the lead. He's
still downshifting down in turn 1, still trying to get the maximum torque out of that engine. If he makes another mistake, it could ruin his race.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's given one, he had one mistake, was able to recover. I think if he makes a second one, it's going to be a race over for him. You get one chance, you don't get a second one. So Horn being aggressive here, and I think he needs to be, as we're under 25 laps to go. But Hutton, being in second place, hasn't really been able to make too big of a dent in Bailey Turner's lead. He's kind of just been hanging out behind them. So curious what's going to happen when Connor Horn catches up to them, and Horn running a 10th faster than the 2 guys ahead of him.
10 minutes left in this race, about 22 laps, make it 21 as they cross the line. Again, I really wish I had a voice because this is going to get really exciting here in the closing laps, but I got to conserve it as best I can.
Yeah, I'll take over for you here, Kyle. As Connor Horn's really closing in on Hutton now. Does he dare use the bumper? No, he's just going to turn it down to the apron. He's going to get to the inside quarter panel of the 88. Can't get the run off the corner. He's going to have to save it for the next lap through, but definitely is looking to be faster than Eric Hutton at the moment. And through 1 and 2 they go, and if we can, try to ride on board with the 42. See him just try to maximize his corner entry here. He's going to look to the inside of Eric Hutton. Just can't. Yeah, it wasn't close enough to make a pass there. Oh, but he's all behind him right now. Here he looks to the inside in turn 1. He's going to try to outbrake the 88. And that car looks like it's on rails right now. And look, they're going to be side by side into turn 3. And into turn 3 they go, and I think Horn might be able to have him here. Hutton's going to try to keep him on the outside, but nope, not going to happen. Connor Horn up into second place.
Remember the history of these guys back at Indianapolis last season. Remember how that race ended with the 42 getting into the rear of the 88. Could see a replay of that the opposite way if Hutton has the pace to get back to the bumper of the 42.
I don't think he might here, and now Bailey Turner, he's going to be worried about that 42 right behind him. He's all over him. Does he have enough car left to make a pass on the 24 of Bailey Turner? What is Turner going to do? Is he going to be aggressive with his blocking? Because I'm sure he knows that Horn's going to be aggressive. Will he be aggressive in return? And we're under 20 laps to go here. Bailey Turner just barely leading over Connor Horn, who's really starting to mount the charge. Everyone else seems to be single file and sorted out. And it's his battle for the lead we're concerned about here. Connor Horn really starting to be aggressive on the back bumper of Bailey Turner. And I think he's just waiting for a mistake from Turner, and maybe just trying to force him into a mistake.
Horn had to pedal it out of turn 2, almost got himself into the fence, had to lift off the throttle, lost some ground.
Yeah, I think we might be seeing him run a little bit out of steam here. Again, he made a fantastic charge up to the front of the field, but again, that's going to cost him on his tires. And we saw him fade out towards the end of the run earlier in the race. They're not going to have as long of a run here, but definitely I'm sure he used up his tires. Yeah, this is pretty much the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment between these two guys. But if you're, I gotta ask you, Kyle, if you're Bailey Turner, what do you do in a situation like this?
Get some warm tea and some honey. Pass for the lead. Here comes Connor Horn.
Yeah, Connor Horn now looking to the inside in turn one. What is Bailey Turner going to do in response? He's going to try to pinch Connor Horn down to the inside.
Side by side at a 2. Door to door. I think Horn's going to be in a good spot when they get down to 3, but all Turner can do is don't give him the room down here. Cuts him off.
He tried to door him there. Horn forcing Bailey Turner up the racetrack. Turner's still on the outside, but it's not going to be enough. Connor Horn's going to get the lead out of 4. He's going to be the leader now, coming to under 15 laps to go.
Only a matter of time there, I think.
Now, does Bailey Turner have anything in response for Connor Horn, or is Connor Horn just going to drive off into the Arizona sunset?
Turner could keep pace with him earlier when they were on equal tires, but Horn's got 5-lap fresher Goodyears. I think it's going to hurt Turner.
Yeah, I think that we saw it make quite a bit of a difference earlier with Elliott Butler, and it's starting to make the difference here with Connor Horn as he started to put up a gap now to Bailey Turner in second place. Well, I told you guys before we got the restart, never count out the 42. He's got the golden horseshoe out of a few cautions to get him back in, get that car back in shape, and was able to charge up back to the front. There's some fantastic driving out of the 42 of Connor Horn. I can't say enough about him. This man has some talent. And it looks like they're not going to face too much challenge other than each other up in the front 2 spots. Hutton's fallen a little bit ways back. He's got Elliott Butler to deal with. Angel Ronas is in 5th, and Reggie Ortega in 6th. Actually, Ortega just got into the wall. And then Jeremiah Vincent in 7th. Ooh, and speaking of Butler, Butler sideways in 3. Trying to get to the inside of Eric Hutton. I think he's starting to get desperate for position. We're now coming to just over 10 laps to go. We got 11 laps to go. And Turner, he's actually been able to maintain that gap. I thought he would fall off a lot more, but he might be setting himself up here. Maybe potentially a last lap move, maybe using that bumper a little bit. Although we did hear Turner, he did say he wanted to maintain the points lead that he had coming into this race after Daytona. And second, he'll definitely do that, but I gotta imagine there's a part of him inside that really wants to get this win. So what do you think Bailey Turner should do? Do you think he should try to just, take a blind leap of faith to try to get the win here? Or do you think he's going to try? Do you think he should just try to finish in second for the points?
He should. What he should do is leave the racetrack, drive to the Walmart, and get me some cough drops. At least I need to have an excuse to lose to Connor at this point.
Yeah, and I think, Connor Horn's starting to build up a little bit of a lead here. I think it's going to be too much for Turner to do anything, even if he really sent it into the corner here. So I think it might be too little too late for him. But meanwhile, back in 3rd place, the battle starting to heat up between Elliott Butler and Eric Hutton. And both these guys just trying to sort themselves out, try to get the last spot on the podium. Ooh, and Butler with a fantastic run off of 2. But Butler is starting to play defensive here, trying to take away the line from Butler. Butler going to look to the inside in 3. And he's going to drive it all the way down below the apron. And he's going to get ahead of Eric Hutton. Hutton going to try to do the crossover here on the front straightaway. Can't get it done. Butler holding it. No, he will get to the inside. And will be on the inside of him here into turn 1. Who's going to win this battle? Ooh, Butler pinching Hutton down, and Butler's going to get 3rd place. Great defensive driving from the 36 Elliott Butler. He's going to be, I think, too far back to make a charge on Bailey Turner, so I think Butler's going to end the night in 3rd. Behind them, everyone's too spread out here, but yeah, this race is starting to these guys are starting to sort themselves out here as they make a run to the end.
Bailey Turner was a little bit quicker than Horn last time through. I don't think this is quite over yet. If Horn makes a mistake, Turner's still close enough to make a shot.
Yeah, again, we've seen Horn make a few mistakes here tonight. Very uncharacteristic of him, but I don't think he's a man to fall under pressure, but you never know. All it takes is one missed shift, and that could ruin Connor Horn's night. Let's look at the lap time back at the line, and wow, Turner was almost 0.3 of a second faster than Connor Horn last time through. So yeah, but Turner really starting to turn up the lick here in these last 5 laps. And I think he's maybe trying to give Connor Horn a false sense of security here, maybe save up his stuff just for one last charge. We're seeing it here. What is that 24 Bailey Turner got? Across the line, they got 4 laps to go. And at the line, Horn was just a little bit quicker than Bailey Turner, but Turner is there to make a move. I'm just curious of what that move's going to be. And they come back to the line. It's going to be 3 laps to go. That gap's still as equal as ever between them. Behind them, no really close battles on the track. This is as close as it's going to get between these two guys. And Turner starting to run on the apron now, just trying to gain some time, just trying to find some sort of grip in these last closing laps, something that he can get to Connor Horn. I think all he needs to be is within bumping range to give a little bit of a punt to that 42, but Horn now starting to... Oh, Horn makes a mistake again. He missed a shift. He's going to spin to the inside. Turner's going to take the lead. No caution. And here comes Elliott Butler now. Does he have enough momentum to get to Bailey Turner?
A huge mistake there is going to cost Connor Horn the race. The downshifting.
Oh, here comes Elliott Butler to the outside of Bailey Turner. This is the fight for the lead. These guys are going to come out at 4. They're going to collect the white flag. Butler is going to have the lead just ahead of Bailey Turner. What is Turner going to do in response? White flag is in the air. Turner looking to the inside. Butler's going to cut him off. And I think Turner's car is too damaged to keep up with him. Let's see. He's going to build up a run out of the corner. Has to get off. Here comes Eric Hutton now trying to fight for second place.
Crazy turn of events the last couple laps here at ISM Raceway. Turner's going to send it, but can't quite get there.
Can't quite get there. Out of turn 4 in a drastic change of events. Here comes Elliott Butler. He's going to get the checker flag. He's going to win here at Phoenix. Bailey Turner second. Eric Hutton third. And where does Connor Horn finish? He's going to finish back in 10th. Wow.
Wow. I have never seen Connor Horn make one mistake, let alone 2 in one race, and one that'll cost him the race.
I was saying, we were talking about if Connor Horn made a mistake, and when I said that, in my mind, I said there's no way he can make a second mistake, and he did it right there. I cannot believe what I just saw.
Same thing. I think it was 3rd to 1st, or 4th to 1st, excuse me. Let's go right on board.
It was pretty much, it was a mirror image of what happened to him earlier.
Yeah, same thing. Missed the shift to 3rd and went to 1st instead.
And Bailey Turner got into him, but lost momentum, had some damage to his right front, and then Elliott Butler just was able to drive around him. Wow, what a crazy race there at the end. I thought it was gonna be a pretty, pretty par for the course there at the end. I thought Horn was just gonna come to the line. But that mistake with 2 laps to go, that cost him the race.
There's a look at your results.
Yeah, look at the results there. And Elliott Butler is going to win the race just over Bailey Turner. Eric Hutton in 3rd, Ronis in 4th, Reggie Ortega in 5th, rounding out your top 5 there. And then you can see that Connor Horn all the way down in 10th. I'm sure he's going to be very disappointed with that finish.
Yeah, huge mistake again. We don't see Horn make mistakes like that. Definitely not.
All right, and I think on that note, we'll cut to a break here, and we'll try to grab some drivers for our interviews. I'm sure definitely a lot of guys are going to have different opinions on that, or just kind of curious on hearing their thoughts of that finish. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back here with third place finisher Eric Hutton. Eric, we saw you struggling with the car, a little bit loose conditions here in the later parts of the run, but you were able to rally that car back to third place. Walk us through your night with these difficult conditions.
Yeah, the car just it had no rotation, and then it would just snap at most worst times. Really, it was really hard to figure out, and I just couldn't get a grip for it really. But third place is all right. Happy with my team, 1, 2, 3 finish, and happy with Elliott getting his first VRL win. So overall.
Yeah, we saw that you were one of the first guys to come down on the pit stops under green flag conditions, and we saw that you cycle out to be the leader. So were you just kind of praying for a caution there to come out as soon as possible to kind of cycle you out? You kind of did work for you in second, but do you think that you would have been able to get on a longer run with a second chance with everyone on that last restart? Do you think that you had a good shot at winning, or do you think the car conditions just were not favorable to you?
Yeah, I put it a little bit early just to try to get tires on it because I was on some of the oldest tires there, and the car just was not to my style, and so I don't think a long run would have helped. If anything, it probably would have hurt. But yeah, it was a decent night, but just the car just was not for me.
All right, and that was third place finisher Eric Hutton. Eric, we'll see you next week. Actually, no, we'll see you tomorrow. Are you racing tomorrow night?
I'll be help admin tomorrow.
All right. Well, we'll see you racing hopefully next week. Thank you for talking to us.
Yep, we'll see you then.
All right. Now we're gonna be with your second place finisher, Bailey Turner. And Bailey, I can imagine you probably got to be a little bit disappointed with that. What happened at the end there? You had the win within your grasp. You're actually closing in on Connor Horn in that last part of the run. But just kind of walk us through what happened there.
Yeah, Connor got by us on that short run, and I was just trying to take care of the tires. I mean, I knew it was going to be about a 30-lap run, so I tried to do my best right there. And then we kind of evened out. I don't know if he was making mistakes or if it was just the tire wear. But I started to send it into the corner, and I was making up some time. And then going to with 2 to go, went into turn 1. And the point where he lost it, there was nowhere for me to go. I couldn't go low, and I couldn't go high, so I just pretty much had to drive into him. And then downshifted back to third gear and tried to get back on the throttle because I knew Elliott and those guys were close. And I wasn't going to give him the inside after Connor passed me on the inside and ran me up the track a little bit. So pretty much Elliott got in good position and was able to hold me on the corner exit. And I mean, I'm happy for him. That's his first win in VRL. So like I said, it's good points day. Disappointing I didn't come away with the win, but it's all good.
Yeah, we saw that you're leading right before the caution came out in the middle of the race, right after the green flag pit stops. Do you think that if the race stayed green to the end of the race and we didn't have any cautions, do you think that you would have been able to walk away with the win, or do you think that Elliott and Connor would have still caught you?
It's tough to say. When I got around Eric, because he was on the older tires again, Elliott was starting to catch me. He'd caught me by about 3 or 4 tenths over about 10 laps. So I don't know if tires would have evened out. I know he was trying to hold off Connor. So I don't know. It would have gone down at least, I think, as a good race as far as us top 3. Seemed like we all had pace to be with each other. It was just going to be on even tires who could make that long run. But ended up not mattering as much with the caution. So.
All right, and there's your second place finisher, Bailey Turner. Bailey, we'll see you tomorrow night for the Outsider Racing League.
Yep, can't wait.
All right, and last but certainly not least, our race winner here, Elliott Butler in the 36. And Elliott, man, you got quite a finish there at the end. Walk us through what happened with you, because I'm sure that you probably didn't expect you to be walking home fighting for the lead coming to the white flag.
Yeah, definitely not. I had a pretty good long run car all race, but on the short run, Connor was definitely faster. I think he was downshifting, and tried it at the end of the race and just couldn't keep up. But I guess he did the same thing he did in front of me and double downshifted or something like that, and was able to hold Bailey enough for me to get to him and make the pass. So pretty happy it worked out in my favor.
Yeah, congrats on the first win. I heard it was your first win in VRL, so congratulations to you. You seem to definitely be faster on the longer run. So just kind of give us your trade secret on how you were able to make the car last as long as it did.
On the long run, the big thing was not downshifting in the corners. If you didn't downshift, it helped your tires tremendously. But the other thing was saving that right rear tire. You could kind of beat up the right front, and towards the end of the run, the car would get looser, and you could just kind of lean on that right rear, and it'll rotate the car for you. Able to make up a lot of time on pretty much everybody got with that. So just wish it could have been faster on a short run, but I'll take it.
Yeah, indeed. You'll definitely take it. Race winner there in the 36, Elliott Butler. Congrats on the win, Elliott, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, awesome, man. Thanks for the broadcast, and thanks everybody out there watching.
No problem. All right, and that's going to wrap up the interviews here. And, man, what a finish to that race. Definitely wasn't expecting that coming to 2 to go.
No, again, you don't really expect to see Connor Horn ever make mistakes, but 2 in one night, especially mistakes of that caliber, not good for Connor Horn. But again, his first race back, hasn't raced Xfinity cars in a while, so I guess we can forgive him there. However, we have a lot of great stuff coming up on SimTV tomorrow night. Outsider Racing League action from Auto Club Speedway, the new package, the first time that Outsider is going to pilot it on an oval this year. Sunday night, Talladega Racing for the finale for the 3-Wide Racing League Driver Development Series. Monday is the Charlotte Roval for the 3-Wide Roval Cross Triple Crown. Tuesday is Host Venom Cup Series from Monza, and some new ticker additions we'll be using on Tuesday night with some custom numbers, custom number fonts in the ticker, so that'll be fun to try out. What's after that? Wednesday, Virtual Mars WDCR SCCA season finale from Road Atlanta. Thursday, Scars Ferrari Challenge is back once again. And then Friday, we're back here with VRL. Do we have another week off, or is it next week?
Nope, next week we're going to be Bristol.
Oh, good. Short track racing next week. That's going to wrap it up. I'm going to go to bed, and we'll see you tomorrow night. I will let everyone know in advance that there is a pretty decently high possibility I will not be speaking tomorrow. We're going to see if we can get Jarrett Mackey or somebody else up in the booth with Finian. I'll still likely be directing, but I'll just be behind the scenes if my voice doesn't get any better. Sorry about that, but it's just the way it is sometimes. All right, with that, that'll be it for tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock p.m. for Outsider Racing League.